You're alive.
Sorry.
She's sending you an email as well, so you can get text messages.
Okay. You want my wife's email?
If you want that one
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, it's
It's
doable.
always a little
Yeah, because
truth
I've
in
had
her.
a few people that give me your wife's email.
Yes.
Yeah. And so the truck is in the road. And, yeah. There's like yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
My W score. I would love to have more guys. Sure don't.
All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Personnel meeting, March 27, 5:30. All 5 JPs are present. Thank you, Gina, for sending us all the updates on everything. I just want to start by apologizing to all of you for last Thursday's meeting. It went way longer than what I anticipated it going. We're new, we're learning things. I just ask for a little grace and patience as this is a large learning curve for all of us since we're all new at this. So this is a touchy subject, obviously. It's not an easy one to talk about money. That's our job and that's what we signed up for. So Gina has sent us my department. Thank you for doing that. I learned a lot for you and Cheyenne. Thank you. Do you want to say anything about it? Has everybody had a chance to look at this? What is the EQ? Equalization board? What is that? Sorry.
They deal with assessing properties, like if someone has a complaint they want to have about their taxes, they go to the equalization board.
Okay. Thank you. Judge Sutton?
I want to touch on what you just spoke about. I understand it's a learning curve, and you all are new, and we will be patient, and you'll be patient with us, and I think it's going to be good for years to come. Now, there's some company that's not here today, but I don't being filmed, so I was going to speak on this as well. Karen Carter is my judge's assistant. She runs that office for me, and Candace Stone is her assistant. Gina Bay runs human resources for me, and you all know Sean does comptroller. If I can't make a meeting, they're a direct extension of my office and should be spoken to and dealt with in the same fashion. So So I know people will be watching this video while I'm saying it now, so hopefully going forward, that can be remembered. So if I can't make it and they're here, it's like I'm sitting here right here with you all. We went through these numbers that Gina sent out, going off the template that was given to Gina, I believe, a couple weeks ago by y'all. And my team believes these numbers are not sustainable. The number that was given to you last week, $58,000 difference, is not accurate. It's a $533,000 difference, and that's just salary alone, not counting anything to do with retirement, medical, and pay of that nature. So we do 6.6 million across the board with all the employees now. This right here would change it to 7.8 million. In 3 years, we would not have any more money to go forward with that. I like the idea. I believe we need a new template, but these numbers for my department and what we've done the last couple of days is not sustainable for Marion County. Thank you.
Oh, I was just gonna say about the utilization for, they're per meeting, so that's $60 per meeting. They're not an hourly rate.
Since we've got a little lull time, can I get up and say something?
Absolutely.
I know the judge is hard to follow, but I'm gonna try to follow him here. I appreciate him getting up and saying that the raises that were proposed by the entire county were unsustainable, and that may be true. But what I want to ask you to do is look at 3 departments: the sheriff's office, the jail, and the 911 dispatch. What he does, that's up to him, but we're in a pretty bad state there. We're losing employees due to the pay. We can't keep enough employees in the jail to keep state prisoners to make any money. I mean, we're down to 8 now, and one of your buddy speaks to come back. She did call.
Yeah.
And so I've got another pay scale that I'd like to give to each one of you. And if y'all would approve it, I'd like to get 3 sponsors to put it on the agenda for the Quorum Court meeting on April the 8th. So if I can hand that out to you.
We have a little law to look at it again.
Huh?
We got a little time to look at it here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is raising county general, and as y'all know, I'm a drain on county general. But it's, for us, it's gonna be $237,000 increase to what we already draw off of. But that is our only source of income. And that includes FICA and retirement and everything. The numbers and comps are attached in the back. I don't have to tell each one of you, because y'all been around as long as I have, but, the sheriff's office, the jail, and the 911 dispatch is the most stressful part of the business, of any businesses. And our workers' comp is actually more expensive than, it might not be as expensive as what the judge is, the road department. I've been disclosed. And you can kind of base the workers' comp on the amount of danger that's at the job. So I'm not asking for a pay raise, I'm asking for something that I can retain employees. This is just a retaining part. I think I said last week, you know, we lost another one to Baxter County, $23. Well, we lost another jailer too. They're going to work from both counties, making $19.
What will this start?
If we could start it would start May the 1st, which is the
I'm
beginning.
sorry, like, what would the patrol or sheriff's deputy start at?
Start at $19 an hour. When we get out of the basic academy, we look into it.
How's that compare with like Baxter Boone? That you think there'll be hopefully a little bit of area that you can retain?
Hopefully, it's not as good as Baxter's. It's not as good as Boone's, but it is as good as what Flippin's and Bull Jones is right now. No, is that not right? And Connor as well. All three of them. Yes, all three places.
What percentage deputies are you down from like full staff?
I'm sorry.
Like,
I didn't hear you.
your deputies, like, you have 20 and you're down like to 15 then, something like that?
You know, since you brought that up, you know, we've got 4 deputies positions that we don't have filled right now. And the Quorum Court last year was kind enough to give us 3 of those. Well, one of them hadn't been filled, the other 3 are still empty as well. I did not pull any of those out of this pay. I mean, that's funding all 16 of them, 17, whatever it is. That's banking on the full house. Now, whether or not we can get a full house or not, I don't know. But we've got to have a little bit of money to offer them.
How long does it take, like, somebody comes to you as an applicant? Before
It'll
you,
take a month before we can get them to work. I mean, Mark, or the chief does a real nice job of doing an investigative, background investigation. And we try to talk to all the people that they work.
If they're not certified though, you hire them and then
Send them to school.
usually what's that process?
Then get,
Lengthwise, time-wise.
well, by the time they get out of school, we send them to Camden and it's 14 weeks. But you just don't hire them and get them out on the road the same day. And then we've got an FTO program, which is a field training officer. We found that it works better for us if we turn them loose with one of our own to work for 4 or 5 weeks running before you turn them out by themselves.
I just would say that, you know, not to say one job is more important than another to the county.
Yeah.
But like for law enforcement or like somebody driving the big Caterpillars or, you know, the road equipment, I mean, there's a little bit of, you know, there's a little bit more, not responsibility, but, can't think of the word I'm looking for, but, danger in those jobs.
That's true.
You know, and I'll be honest with you, everybody knows the trouble 2 years ago I spoke about in Oakland.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say this over something else, but I'll be honest with you, I give us a few more minutes, but,
Y'all take your time, but, like I say, it would benefit the department if y'all would let us put it on the agenda for April. Because if we don't, it's gonna kick it all the way back to May and then June, and next thing you know, it'll be half gone, and we'll lose more people if we keep that. Which is okay.
Greg, is there a point, like, state-wise, that if you drop below a certain number of employees at the jail, that it could be closed down?
Yeah, you've gotta have a certain number of employees per inmates. Yes, you do have that. And that's the reason we're not housing any state inmates. I think we've got two right now. Most of the people all the people that we've got in there are our own homegrown inmates. They're very, yeah.
Just so you all know where I stand, I do agree that there's jobs in the county that outweigh the jobs. I think my operatives are a close second, but I will not even be close to putting before law enforcement. I'll stand here as I walk force, the field can see me. I hold law enforcement above the rest. It's a calling, it's what they do. So I'm agreeing with you on that you don't have to say you don't want to, no, you're not offending anyone. Law enforcement is top right there. I'm sorry, you don't do that. You put on a vest every day. Possibility, all of us have a possibility of not making it home. That one, they know what walking out the door is what we want to do. Secondly, on the AOC inmates, scratch that. Let's do it, if we can do it, to do it, because it's going to be a prison built eventually someday, a prison built somewhere else. I want them fully staffed, but not based on AOC inmates. I want them fully staffed, so he's fully staffed. If we get AOC inmates, that's a bonus, but if they don't show up, we've got our own people, we got our own, like you said. First question is, you said 237, it's a 249 right here. That's going to be the. Yeah, personnel. Okay. They dug through my road. The water line? Are they still there? But they dug through the road and put a water line in. Oh, yeah. They dug through the road and put a water line in. I'll be on, give me 5 minutes, I'll be on the way. Bye. Sorry, I'm sorry.
That figure is minus Metro.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we've got 50 employees up there.
So here's my next question, while we're all here together. They're aware of the sales tax that's coming up. The sales tax that we're looking for is 1.2 million, okay? You're a $900,000 draw right now. This will put you at 1.1 million, all right? The $60,000 extra is left over. Is that enough for you to put to a rolling account to change out your units?
Woo!
Wait, 1.1 of what?
I don't know.
900,000 plus the 237,000.
But you're on, that's all the departments together, so your apples here.
Right here?
Yeah, law enforcement only get that tax, correct?
Good, no, but he's got a 1% sales tax. He's also a $900,000 draw extra, county general.
On 1,800.
Correct. So what I'm saying is, we're looking for that sales tax. We're gonna go for it 100%. Yeah, to help. My question is, how much is that reoccurring payment to get on that lease program? Because,
We hadn't got to it
but
yet.
that'll cover all of that if this goes through, and I'm willing to back it right now with the belief that we're gonna get that. And should we not, then we reconvene. But I'm willing to amend it now with you and say, hey, we know we're gonna get this. This is gonna cover you for a decade.
That's a good.
I mean, look at these top outs here. You're not gonna come back every other month and be arguing anymore.
No,
You're gonna be good to go, plus have a MRF fund, I'm calling it a MRF fund, to roll over for one of the vehicles.
well, that's true. We
And
do have
if-
that.
And if that number's to whatever you said, I mean, you can't be $60,000 a year to roll over vehicles, right? I don't know, for the lease.
I told him you told it off, that we got this,
But
this was the most.
But I think they can all be covered, and I'll back it 100%.
So that's.
I gotta go that road, but I wanted to say that so you guys all heard that.
You need a plumber?
Huh?
You need a plumber?
No, I'm gonna rip some water line out.
Need a plumber.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Can I ask real quick?
Yes, sir.
Because I know we've talked about that sales tax. I can go back, say like the Oakland Community Center, start pushing that people need to be aware of that. And what a good thing this would, because that has to come before the Quorum Court, correct?
April, the community center is gonna be here for us to give the presentation. Second and third week of April, I'm gonna call procedures management committee meeting. And we're gonna present ordinances to put on the ballot at that time. And hopefully in May, we'll go ahead and get that done, so we can have it done before August, which is the 70-day threshold, before it's on the ballot in November. And the sheriff and I are in agreement that that needs to go to his daily
When is that,
expenses on operational.
sunset?
February 26th.
February, which,
I'm sorry.
2026.
I apologize, I have to go.
You're fine, thank you.
They're digging through our roads, we're not gonna allow that.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jackie.
I really honestly didn't know how to do the bottom part where it felt like on the ranges. Because when we got here, we were pigeonholed into certain pays per position. And sometimes that didn't work and you didn't have a slot for somebody. So what Greg asked for after that, the sheriff asked for after that was the straight 1850 was the max pay for everybody. What that did was made me have to budget at the highest amount for everybody, and there were $16 employees. So we were leaving money on the end. So what we're trying to do here is ask for permission to maintain a schedule. And so it would not change much, like next year it might change 50 cents for an employee or 25 or whatever it is when they go to their next one. But you would have that come budget time, but you'll have a better understanding of what we're asking. We're just trying not to lock into where if we get an employee that's a 5-year guy that comes in and we can pay him, but we only have this $18 slot and he's gonna be a $20 employee or something like that. So that's what we're kind of, it was just hard to be able to put that down.
Thank you, I know,
I had an idea.
a lot of time went
If
into
we pass this on to the court, something would be in writing now.
Well, that's why I gave you all of that. You can see exactly those numbers match
that's
But I mean,
exactly,
the variance or,
huh?
the rate. Are you talking about like the rate?
so that's built into this, is what you're saying?
Well, that would be for, the numbers I have there would be for like anniversary time this year. So it would be what they would go to at their anniversary when they do their evaluation. Again, those are top numbers. So if they're not performing, they will have to wait on any increases until they bring up performance. These are top bid. Those are what the top bid would be for this year. And then if they may change, or they may not, it's a 2-year schedule. So like right now, we have 2 years per each dollar amount they would have to stay at, or be under until they get to that.
Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I know there's,
This wasn't, I'm sure this wasn't like, sure you didn't like wave a magic wand and come up with this stuff. If you do, I need that magic wand.
Throw it on the wall to do it.
Justice Shipman, do you have anything you want to add or say?
We got the money to do it. I said, let's do it. And I know the road department is in the same position. And we ain't got a road to get to somebody. They ain't gonna do the sheriff no good. So, and then if we got people that work in the offices, pick the pay, then they're in a bad position.
Oh, we are in bad position, that's right.
But we'll lose people from the road department. It's always been that way it should.
That is, that.
And probably always will be because we can't get them back from them. But we can do what we can right now. I'd like to.
Well, I think that most people know me well enough, and I know you do, but if it's something that the sheriff's office is dragging on, we'll start cutting. I mean, we'll just have to, and it won't be your defunding the police, it's just the way it is.
I'd say, go ahead and put it.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Did you get that, Leslie? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
We will retype it, if it's all right, we can put y'all's names on it,
Absolutely.
and we'll send it before the full court on that.
There's on section 3 or 4, currently the dispatch has a night shift differential. I don't have that ordinance number of where that was. I think it was 21-ish, maybe somewhere in there. We will be taken away. We'll be getting rid of that. That's the only department that has that. We operate differently. So they do have incentive to get ACIC 1 and 2. And also there's a 40-hour telecommunicators class that we would offer phones. And that's fitting into all of that. So if they currently have those certifications or one of them, that's reflected in their pay. So we would need that.
I'd just like to say to other departments, that when you're talking about putting food on the table for somebody, I personally probably would always vote to pass something on, to vote to pass it here on a committee, to not let 5 people decide, but let the whole court decide. That's just my personal thought, that, you know, whatever would be brought up financially, I don't want to make it look like me personally, hey, let's go spend 3.2 million tonight. But it's that let 9 people decide it rather than 5. And however the chips fall, they fall.
Well, I know it's a hard sell to try to come in mid-year to try to change the budget. Leslie and I was on the Quorum Court together for a long time, and we understand that. But right now, we're in a dire strait. People are leaving, and if we don't do something, and I thank you for pushing it on the court, but I just thank you for listening.
If we have questions about this before Tuesday, you just call like up till like 5:25.
Call anytime.
Okay.
So I'm gonna assume that we're tabling everything else then. If it's not sustainable.
It was a good job.
I'm sure it was, and I appreciate all.
And like the retirement and everything. It was quite substantial.
Yeah. I knew it was gonna be large, but when I saw that, I was like, yeah. It was a little larger than I thought it was gonna be as well, so. Is there any other business?
The judge left me this, the personnel policy.
Yes, dear.
We're asking, I guess, and you can probably ask everybody in this room, we need to revamp this. It's horrible.
We started on that last month, but then this all took over,
Okay,
so.
okay, good.
I have the copy from the AAC, what they have, and so does Leslie, and so
Okay,
next month we'll start working on that,
Good.
since we have this now.
because the maternity section was really kind of questionable. Like you had to get permission from your elected official.
To get pregnant.
Maternity. That should not be. Yeah.
I'll send a copy of that. I have electronically, Leslie sent it to me too, not realizing that I had gotten a copy of it.
I didn't know you.
I know. Because I talked to the judge about it, and he said, if you can't find it, which I can't, their AAC website's not very user-friendly.
Is that 22,
The
2022?
the personnel policy was dated April 11th, 2023 was the last change we made to it.
Oh, that's ours. He's
This
saying
is
that
ours.
Okay,
I don't know what AAC has.
okay.
It was. Start a manual and go through and.
We can, so is it easier to adopt it and then make changes, or make changes to what they have and bring it all
You
up?
might want to look at both, It probably be a good idea, yeah.
Does everybody have a copy of the current manual that Karen has right now?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that? Do you have a copy?
We can get it to you.
Colton does not, I have a copy of it. Do you have a copy of it? Wesley, do you have a copy of the current one? I'll email you all a copy of the one we got from the AAC. And so we'll have that if we will. Meet.
They should have those in the AAC, I just sent it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thursday, April 24th will be our next personnel meeting.
What day, I'm sorry?
Thursday, April 24th. At 5:30.
Should we go through like one section, chapter at a time? Or is it something that everybody should point out to us what we should address first? Or look at first?
I would say the training section for sure.
I would say ours should be like the AAC with just what changes that pertain to our county. That's my suggestion. Because I'm sure they've got updated laws and things that have happened since this has been done. Yeah, that, like that.
And I think to a certain point, a certain point, it's been a long day, that maybe get some input from the elected officials.
Yeah.
Because in my personal opinion, in the past, the policy, the county policy has been changed on a whim. And I just think, because we're in the office, we're in the courthouse, or the road department, or the sheriff's office, and I just think a little bit of our input might be helpful.
I agree, because you see things that we don't,
Yes, ma'am.
obviously.
Yes.
You're working and living in it, so. If you all, you all have our email addresses, so if there's something that you think that needs to be addressed or looked at or needs to be changed or updated, please let one of us know. You know, yes, ma'am. Anything else?
If you send us the one you got from AAC, if you send it to me, I will send it out to everybody. Make sure they get it.
Leslie, can you here?
Send it to her right now.
Miss Suzie?
Extra reports that I put on, treasury balances. Thought you might need them if this discussion went further, but since it's not, just point out what I did is I took out the federal funds and I took out the agency funds, the 6,000 series that are just in and out. And this gives you a 3-year, bird's eye view of receipts and disbursements, balances. And one of the reasons why, another reason why I did it this way is because Justice B had asked how much we were down and what's the typical first quarter numbers. We all know that the first quarter of the year is usually the toughest. And so that's all I have to say about that, but that's why you've got these reports. I'm trying to narrow down what numbers, especially since I'm only reporting quarterly now verbally. Help me decide what you all want to see. I know
I would like to see.
you want to see the first,
every month.
just a quarterly summary rather than month by month. I'll send you the month by month.
I personally would
just
like
give you
it
a
month
summary.
by month being due. I mean,
What about
so we
those?
see
I'll
the
just
trends in
continue to
there.
do that and just add a quarterly section. Perfect. Okay.
I didn't realize that this was 3 years too, so that's why I like that too, you can see that. What's transpired since 22.
Out there, 1.2 million. 3 years ago. Come a long way.
Yeah, county general is not the concern until we start drawing out of it too much.
I know last year, talent. Yeah, talent. Yeah. Yeah, I overheard a couple of them up here talk because we sat right there. It was pretty, I told my wife, I said, it's pretty decent because, excuse me, as much as you like, dislike, or whatever your opinion of somebody that sits up here, I thought it was pretty decent when he made the comment to the other ones. They got to make sure they leave it in shape for so many new people. And that was very much appreciated when he said that last year.
All right, if nobody has anything else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I know it doesn't mean
All
nothing,
those in
but
favor? Adjourned at 6:05.
So with this one, the calendar, I guess we're not going to 16 minute meetings.
You
Or, yeah.
Other side of that, start exercising.
Don't get all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like right here.
But there is,